If you don't have your battery monitor installed properly or programmed properly, it can give you all kinds of problems. And troubleshooting battery monitors is exactly what we're going to cover today in lesson number 3 of this battery monitoring playlist. My name is Nate, and welcome to the explorist.life Mobile, Marine, and Off-Grid Electrical Academy. Let's get started. The first problem we usually see is something that isn't a battery being installed on the battery side of the shunt. And to explain what the problem is, there is a shunt is directional. There is a battery side of the shunt and there is a system side of the shunt. And so the battery side of the shunt goes to the batteries. The system side of the shunt goes to everything that's not a battery. And so to explain this, this is one of the explorist.life diagrams, and we have our shunt in place right here. And this side of the shunt is the battery side of the shunt because it's going down to the battery bank down here. The system side of the shunt is connected to the negative bus bar of the Links distributor, in which all the other negatives are connected to the system side of the shunt. So the chassis ground is connected to the system side of the shunt. All the loads and chargers are connected to the system side of the shunt. And the way that I like to think about this and explain it to people when they're having problems is the battery side of the shunt only goes to batteries. The other side of the shunt, doesn't matter if we call it the system side, the loads and chargers side, as it's labeled on the BMB 712, that goes to everything else. So if it's a battery, it goes on this side. If it's not a battery, it goes on this side. So what isn't a battery? Loads and chargers aren't batteries. Multi-plus inverter chargers aren't batteries. DC to DC chargers aren't batteries. Chassis grounds aren't batteries. Literally anything that's not a battery goes on the system side of the shunt. If it's a battery, it goes on this side. Okay, so that's pretty much like one of the biggest problems that I see, and most specifically, people like to put chassis grounds on the battery side for some reason, and that definitely messes things up. You're just going to get improper readings with this, and it's going to just sort of not work properly. The next thing is the shunt wired in the wrong direction. So similarly, if somebody were to put this shunt in place on this diagram and flip this around to where the battery side was on the loads and charger side, and the battery side, and the system side was going towards the batteries, you're going to get a reverse reading. Your current is just going to be flowing the wrong direction whenever your shunt is going to be doing that. So if you're using power, your shunt's going to be showing that you're actually charging, and then vice versa. And this problem, I think I actually made this problem sort of worse because in my diagrams, depending on which shunt you're using, is the Smart Shunt versus the BMB 712 shunt, the terminals can be reversed depending on which batch of shunts that you've gotten. And so you have to do a little due diligence there and read at the top of the shunt and see which one goes to which, and then sort of, ignore which direction the shunt is showing in the diagram, and just pay attention to what it actually says on the shunt and then go by that. If there's something labeled on the shunt or on any piece of device, that's always going to overrule whatever you see on any diagram. So installing this in a reverse order gives all kinds of problems, but recently Victron gave us the option to change the current measurement direction. So if you accidentally do this wrong and install it backwards, it's not going to damage anything. You're just going to get the wrong readings. But if you do that, email into to our tech support channel and we see that, we're just going to tell you to go in here and change that to reverse, I think is the other option. So you've got normal and you've got reverse, and it's a nice, quick, easy way to sort of remedy that problem without having to put wrenches to anything. The next problem is the shunt not being programmed properly, and this is probably the second most popular problem that we see in our tech support inbox, is the shunt being programmed improperly. So if you leave your shunt and your chargers as default, typically they're going to come from the factory like shown here. So the shunt is going to be, for a 12 volt system of course, the shunt is going to be shown as 13.5 volts, and your solar charge controller, for example, is going to be set to default of 14.4 volts. And what's going to happen there is your solar charge controller's going to be charging that battery to 14.4 volts. Now, a standard lithium battery, standard 12 volt lithium iron phosphate battery, you want to charge that to about 14.4 volts, depending on the manufacturer. We'll just say 14.4 to keep it simple here. And if you charge your battery to 13.7 volts, your battery is not going to be full. So let's say you're not connected to shore power, it's kind of a cloudy day, you only charge to 13.7 volts, your battery is not going to be full just by nature of how battery charging works. But if your shunt is programmed to 13.5 volts, your shunt is going to see, hey, we've reached 13.5 volts, and because of my programming, that means I'm full, whenever that's not really the case. So what you need to do there is program your equipment. Now, we have guides that teach you how to program equipment. We have services that will program your equipment for you. We'll put links to all that down in the video description below. But the rule of thumb there is to, on a 12 volt system, have your absorption voltage and then subtract 0.2 volts. And then that is going to be your charged voltage. So if your absorption voltage of your charger is set to 14.4 volts, you're going to want to set this to what? 14.2 volts. So just bump this up to where it's a little more appropriate, because whenever the charger gets to 14.2 volts, your charge is going to be, your batteries are going to be really, really close to full, if not already absolutely full, 99%, whatever the case is. And so that's going to tell that shunt, hey, we're actually full at this point in time, so we're good to go. And the number one problem we see with battery monitoring and shunts is the dreaded double dash right on the Victron Connect app. And the reason this is happening is because of our setting that we have here, is our battery state of charge on reset. Now, what is a reset? A reset is going to be any time that you cut power to the system. You turn off your main system disconnect switch, that big red switch, or anything like that, and this shunt loses all power. And then whenever you turn power back on, if you have this set to clear, which is actually my preference, it's going to go to a double dash line. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean it's not working? No, it just means the shunt isn't 100% confident in what the state of the charge of the battery actually is. And so this setting over here, there's three different options. There's keep state of charge, there's clear, and then there's set to 100%. Now, this is what the shunt is going to do whenever it loses power and then gets power restored back to it. Now, going through these line by line, set to 100%, don't do this one. This one's the worst one, because if you turn your power off and your batteries are at like 50%, and then you turn your power back on, then the shunt is going to automatically set to 100%, regardless of what the state of charge of the batteries actually is. So you could have 50% left in your batteries, and your shunt is telling you that you've got 100%, and that's not really useful to anybody. The next option is clear, and this is what I actually like. So whenever I turn the system power off and then turn it back on, my shunt is going to give me those two dashes like we showed there. And this is saying, hey, I don't really know what the state of charge of the batteries is. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the other option, because these are the two most reasonable options. The other option is keep state of charge, and that's going to tell the shunt, hey, when I turn the system off and then turn it back on, just go ahead and reset at the state of charge that you last knew. So if the shunt was at 50%, we turn the master disconnect switch off, we turn it back on, it's going to stay 50%. Now, I personally don't prefer this one, because if I turn my system off and then let's say it's wintertime and I'm not using the camper for 4 or 5 months, these batteries have a little bit of just natural discharge. And if we say that our batteries are at 90% or whatever, we turn it off, we leave it for 4 months, we turn it back on, The shunt, if it's set to keep stated charge, is going to show 90%, when in all reality, the batteries are a little bit lower than that. And I would rather the shunt not guess at that. I would rather just the shunt tell me, hey, I don't really know, which is why my preference is to leave it at clear, so that whenever we turn it back on after those 4 months, then it's just going to show those 2 dashes. Now, how do we get those 2 dashes to go away? Well, you simply charge the batteries. Once you recharge the batteries and the batteries reach a proper charged voltage like we set previously, then that is going to reset to 100%. The shunt is going to see that proper voltage from the charged voltage parameter, and then it's going to be like, okay, we're good to go. We're at 100% again. This is going to reset. Now, the best way to do the charging in this realm is always going to be shore power, because if your batteries are really deeply discharged and you connect to, and you're relying on solar and it's a cloudy day, maybe your batteries won't charge to full, and this is going to hang around for a lot longer. If you connect to shore power for, overnight or something like that, then you're going to be able to reach that absorption charged voltage, and this is going to reset to 100%. So realistically, this is sort of a personal preference in regards to these two. I want to say this is never useful to set to 100%, but these two, that's kind of personal preference. I prefer clear for the reasons I just explained, but if you are okay with your shunt guessing just a little bit, whenever you turn it off, turn it back on, you can set that to keep state of charge, and that's what that's going to do. So there are a lot of different settings within the shunt that need to be programmed properly. A lot of them are pretty technical, and we're not going to get into it. And realistically, they come from the battery manufacturer in most cases, or just the type of battery chemistry that they are. But if you go to shop.explorist.life and then you go to the resources tab, we've got a programming guidebook that's going to help you program all of your components, for regardless of if it's a 12 volt, a 24 volt, or a 48 volt system. So it's going to be a per component based kind of situation. So for your shunt, it's just going to walk you through how to do it and then what the numbers are going to be. And then if you keep going, it's also going to tell you, what settings you want for your solar charge controllers and everything like that. So shop.explorers.life under the resources tab. We also have a program, or a service, where we will do all this for you, given your system has a Servo GX. And we'll just log in remotely and then set all of this for you. And a lot of people have taken advantage of that, and it kind of takes any kind of guesswork out of it and make sure it all gets done right the first time. And that wraps up the battery monitoring chapter of this academy. In the next chapter, we are going to be covering everything there is to know about inverters, inverter chargers, transfer switches, and everything to do with that side of the system. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you over there.